British taxpayers are about to fund a massive handout to weapons companies disguised as a 90 billion euro loan to the Ukraine. Keir Starmer's government is now moving to sign on to that deal. But this loan is not a loan, and once you see how it works, that becomes very clear. Prime Minister Starmer, whose government is now opposed by 70% of the British public, presents this as a step forward towards defending Europe and strengthening the ties between the UK and the EU. But is it? Or is this really a scheme to enrich elites while ordinary taxpayers are left holding the bag? Hello, I'm Michael. This is Southern Realism, a channel about power, geopolitics, and decline. Mainstream establishment media refer to the scheme that Starmer seeks to join as a loan. They say that it would transfer about 90 billion euros to Kiev, with most of those funds to be spent on weapons. Now, naturally, the Kiev government is eager to get the funds and has been lobbying hard for months to be given this money. Surprise, surprise, but big weapons manufacturing companies such as Rheinmetall, BAE Systems, Thales, and Leonardo SPA have lobbied their government and the EU for what will be a huge payday for the military-industrial complex. But calling this a loan implies that British and EU taxpayers will be paid back for the generous amount of their money that will be forked over to the Ukraine, which is widely acknowledged to have one of the most corrupt governments on earth. However, Kiev is only required to pay the money back if they so utterly defeat Russia, which currently holds about 20% of the Ukraine's pre-war territory, that Moscow agrees to pay reparations to Kiev. Now, just being entirely frank, that is not going to happen. The Ukraine is out of manpower, its economy is devastated, it has significantly slowed the Russian advance down with a massive influx of drones, missiles, and other weapons from NATO countries, but it is widely acknowledged by many US and even some European leaders that the Ukraine will not be able to take back all its lost territory, much less force Russia to pay it reparations. So, this 90 billion euro loan is not a loan, it's a handout. And it's mostly a handout to giant weapons companies. In fact, 60 of the 90 billion euros will stay within the EU, meaning that this is really welfare from the people to the military-industrial complex. And surprise, surprise, Starmer wants in on that action. The unpopular Prime Minister wants British taxpayers to hand over their money to big weapons companies. That's the essence of this deal. And when you put it like that, is this really a good thing for ordinary English, Welsh, Scottish, and Northern Irish taxpayers? Are the people really clamoring to give their money over to the military-industrial complex? I don't think so.